And the qualifying has begun for our last race of the season here at Abu Dhabi. Gonna be a fight to the finish. Jack, run us by who's fighting for the drivers' championship now.
Hi everyone, thanks for that, Orkin. Appreciate the intro there. Yes, we are here for the final two rounds, as Orkin said, and let's get straight into business. The two drivers fighting it out for the championship, for the weekend league here with Gavra Racing, are Flat Left and Shortbread 24. The two drivers from Ferrari and Aston Martin, respectively, are separated by just 20 points. Now, there are, technically speaking, 42 points maximum on offer for tonight's pair of races. Is the standard race one, which takes the usual Formula One point scoring system, 25, 18, 15, etc. And then race two takes a Gavra Racing League point system, which is 15, 12, 10, etc., etc. from there. So it's down to those two drivers. Ferrari have already wrapped up the Constructors' Championship. That's pretty much all one and done. I can't imagine that anybody would be able to challenge them from Aston Martin. I know that there's 57 points between the two teams, but it looks very unlikely that that is going to change anything. Now, in terms of the rest of the championship standings, I'll just quickly run through those. In first, Flat Left on 111, Shortbread 24, or 224 rather, on 91. Zexify is third on 77, but he is out for tonight. He's not racing. Arpita is fourth on 63, with PSU, otherwise formerly known as PSU, now Psycho, is on 62. Billy Misu is 6th on 46 points, with Ben Roberts 44 and 7th on 41. Fett is 8th, tied with JMB Surreal on 40 points each, and Spannel is 10th in the Williams on 28 points. In terms of the constructors, Ferrari on 188, Aston Martin on 131, McLaren on 103. Those are the standings, and this is going to be pretty tense for both Flat Left and Shortbread 224 to take their first championship here with Gavra. Orkin, Flat Left has a 20-point lead, but who do you see, a prediction before we get into the race, and who do you reckon is going to win this championship? What are you thinking?
You know, Ferrari has just been so dominant. It's going to be really tough to bet against Flat Left here. I think I'm going with Ferrari.
Well, there we go. Straightforward and as simple as that. And as we speak, first lap time coming on the board from Walt van Keisel. He joined us for the first time last week. He's done a 25.7, almost matched by Jan. 8 thousandths of a second separating those two. Psycho probably going to be the driver in third place at the moment. He's not going to be the next lap time as Fenny Sarose comes across. I think there's an Alpha Tauri coming towards the final corner. That is JMB Surreal. Can he stick it provisionally on pole? Let's see him come to the line. Doesn't look like a great lap, and it's only fourth. Psycho, what can he do? There you go. That's more like it from Psycho, isn't it, Hawken?
There we go. That's the McLaren speed that we've been expecting and seeing all season. Flat Left right now has mediums on. Little spin from the Alpine. But Flat Left has the mediums on. Not quite sure what the strategy is there. If he's just trying to give everyone else a chance while he's getting a feel for the track, if he's saving those tires for the race right now.
Do you think he's just took a little bit of inspiration from Zexify? We know that Zexify used to take the mediums and then bolt on a soft and take pole. Maybe he's channeling that energy.
I think so. His teammate is not here. He had some previous engagements. Unfortunately, cannot be here for the last two races of the Gavra Racing season. But Flat Left still on the mediums, a respectable lap, 133.2. Not bad for a first lap out for Flat Left. Maybe just getting a feel for the track right now. This is a difficult circuit here. But right now, Psycho is dominating at a 24.5. Significant lead right now.
It is at the moment, absolutely. Flat Left, actually, I've been watching him on this lap. He is up on his time so far. We've had a couple of drivers go off at turn 3 and 4, by the way. Well, that's I'll explain in a bit. But Flat Left set a purple sector time in Sector 1. So he's got some speed on those medium tyres. We're watching him now as he comes through underneath the hotel there, through turn 14, runs it nice and wide, up to that blue and white sort of livery advertising there. Then on the brakes, down into fourth gear for the final corner. Nice on the apex. This is going to be a good lap. Great lap.
Oh my God. Phenomenal lap from flat left in that Ferrari. On the mediums, just under 3/10 off Psycho, who has got provisional pole right now in that McLaren. But those medium tires do have the pace here at Abu Dhabi. That is interesting to see.
Yeah, it is. I mean, or is it the fact that the mediums have the pace, or is it just flat left being able to get that speed out of them? One thing I can just want to say actually before we go into the race is that I have noticed something. There is a lack of shortbread in the lobby, and if I remember from the comments last week, I might be correct in saying this, but I don't know if shortbread is actually in for tonight's race. Which, if that's the case, we are watching our current champion who just needs to finish.
Okay. Well, that's unfortunate for Shortbread, and it's Zexify. I know that was he really didn't have a chance. He was P3, so stepping in for him is Santuccio Anatoli, 99. The the F2 driver getting called up in the other Ferrari here, but flat left right now just has to keep things calm, finish the race as is. Maybe that's the strategy on the mediums. Don't need to push it too much. Save the real grip for the race if it really comes down to it. Just get a respectable time now in the mediums.
Yeah, pretty much. Doesn't need to worry about it. I've noticed that there's a lot of drivers who haven't come out onto the track yet, and I believe there may be some penalty-related issues with that from last week at Miami, but we'll get an update on who's got those penalties when we come towards the end of qualifying. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But been a few yellow flags being tripped, Dorkin. What do you make of this circuit in terms of, how would I describe it, in terms of difficulty? Do you think this is one of the most difficult circuits on the track or on the calendar, or do you think maybe it's a little bit easier?
You know, in terms of overtaking, I would say it's a little bit more of a difficult track here. I know for a fact that pit lane entry is going to fool some drivers. They want to get every inch they can before they start breaking in. Already we've seen some people spin out just in this short qualifying session trying to get into the pit lane now. That's causing some of the yellow flags from what we've seen. Just a little bit of a blockage trying to pull all the way right, brake as tight as they can to get right into that pit lane. But no damage on track right now. The spin outs that we've seen from the top booth have been trying to get right in that pit lane and maybe coming out of the turn 3 and 4. But otherwise, it has been a smooth track. No one has crashed out just yet. Hopefully that's not a jinx to the drivers on the track.
Yeah, hopefully not, or can I agree with you on that? We have a tendency to do that initially. I've got to make a point though. Fake Knutson, this is a man with renewed confidence, up into second place at 24.6. He scored his first podium last week, of course, at Miami in that wet race on the intermediates. He put in a wonderful shift. He was my driver of the day, and Dawkins as well, and he's up in P2, and he's less than a tenth off the back of Psycho, who we know is a quick driver.
Absolutely. Now, where is Spanel on the track right now?
Just as I say that, Shortbread has joined us, ladies and gentlemen, so we will have a championship fight after all.
Here we go. That's what we want to see at Gavra Racing, a fight to the finish. Okay, better late than never, coming to the party.
Oh, thank for that. So Shortbread has joined. He's just got to get himself into lobbies. He'll have enough time probably if he can get in to do 2 very quick laps around this circuit. I've got to say though, I'm quite impressed with Jan, who's in 5th place. This is his most competitive qualifying I've seen of him all season long. So evidently Abu Dhabi, the Yas Marina circuit with its 16 corners, Orkin, are certainly playing out well for him at the minute.
Psycho just trying to get a little bit more heat into the tires now, I see. Spun a little bit, but, you know, just trying to get the heat in as much as he can. I think he's going to be A-okay. I see Fake Nutson's letting Psycho go. Maybe trying
Why
to get
don't
a little
we?
less air. Mm-hmm.
Why don't you take us on a lap with Psycho, Orkin? Why don't you do some commentating? Talk us through this lap, and hopefully the race director will be watching Psycho as well.
Here he goes, just crossed the line. So far, so good. Taking it as tight as he can to the very end, swinging that car all the way around, coming up to turn 2. This is going to be dang near foot to the floor, and he hits that perfectly, taking every inch as the track will allow in that McLaren. Got the new softs on, did a great outlap. A lot of traffic coming through, hits that DRS zone brilliantly. And that is a purple S1 for Psycho. Let's see if he can keep that momentum going. A string of drivers right behind this long straight, trying to get as much drag as they can. And Psycho, he's backed out of that one.
Did you see he had a massive wobble coming out of turn 5? Do you reckon he just thought, no, let's stop? Let's just.
I think so. I think he wanted to save the tires a little bit more. I think that's a prudent decision for Psycho in that McLaren, and yeah, just trying to keep the tires warm as he's trying to gracefully come in, finish the lap, and hopefully go right back out on the flyer, saving that ERS too. I see.
Yeah, he definitely is, and he's got to make sure now that he just gets that ERS back up to as close to 100% as he can, which he is doing. He's getting right out of the way of everybody, which maybe even going a little bit too slowly, to be honest, because that's almost quite. Because Stan Chu, who's just behind him, he's the Ferrari who he's waiting for, is actually slowed down as well. So, bit of an odd one.
He said, "You go," and the Ferrari said, "Absolutely not, buddy. After you." Okay, here we go. Psycho back out on a hot lap here. Let's see what we can do. Again, taking every inch. Will that wobble remain? No, hits it clean. Coming around to... Oh, that is going to be a purple sector for Psycho. He saved as much grip of those tires as he can. No backing out now. About to hit the DRS zone, and we go. ERS has been deployed, and he is absolutely on a heater right now. That McLaren is flying, coming down to the braking zone here. This is going to be a tight chicane. Absolutely no mistakes right up to the line. Second DRS zone. And again, we love to see Psycho just performing so well. He is a qualifying king. That is a purple S2 as well. Pending no mistakes, this is gonna only enhance his provisional pole position. Right now, little wide. Hits it clean. Oh, he goes off. A little too wide for Psycho there. Was pushing that car to the limit. I don't think that lap is going to count, and yet smartly decides to dive out of that lap, go into the pits. Such a shame. He hit the purple S1 and 2, but just a little too much coming around those tight corners on that last sector. Decided to dive into the pits, probably switch on a new pair of softs, but right now he doesn't need to get back out on track just yet, as he does have that provisional pole position.
Yeah, like you say, Orkin, pole position for him, and smartly getting back into the pits. He's got plenty of time to go out again, which I'm sure he will. As flat left, the championship leader puts himself into P1, and he looks to where Shortbread in P4 is and says, "Go on, mate, try and beat that."
Now, that is over half a second, ladies and gentlemen. Flat left starting on the medium tires. I knew that was just a ruse from flat left, getting a little bit of extra knowledge, maybe a little bit of a flex coming out, getting provisional P2 on the medium tires. Decides to go back, get the softs on, and right now provisional pole by over half a second. Again, that is just more of the same, and what we've grown to expect from a driver of flat left's caliber in that Ferrari. Absolutely amazing to watch.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. He's put in a wonderful lap there, like you say, Orchid, 5 tenths clear of Psycho. And, you know, I believe I'm right in saying that this could be flat left's first pole position of the season. I could be wrong when I say that. You know, He's got a race win this season. He's been very good in that. Oh, is J&B Surreal has been disqualified for blocking the
Ooh.
pin. That's very odd. Just looking to see where he was. I don't quite understand that. Well, I've not seen that before in a session. It's unusual. But J&B Surreal is out. The other driver who's also out, we didn't mention this, Milo Bello, who crashed out through turn 3. Unfortunately for him, I think he's just clipped the curb on the inside and fired into the wall. And that's going to be a key area of note for everybody. You know, this track, since the layout has changed since 2020, and, you know, they've reprofiled a couple of corners, such as turn 5, there's no more sort of tricky chicanes. There are a few corners on this track that still catch drivers out. Turns 2, 3, and 4, especially, are one of them. And turn 9, where the old chicane used to be, the long left-hander now at the end of the second DRS straight. That's a very bumpy corner for drivers to deal with. As I say that, one of the Williamses, I'm just looking here. Yeah, it's Spannel has actually... Oh, no, he hasn't. I thought he'd broken his front wing, but he hasn't. But at the moment, looking at where everybody is on circuit, Shortbread on an out lap at the moment. Our Peter currently on a lap, but he's actually backed out of it. So Jan, hopefully the race director can pick up Jan. He's on a lap at the moment. And he's 300ths of a second down at the moment, Orkin, on his lap.
Okay, let's get a good view of Jan here. You know, thinking about the J&B Surreal, I wonder if he made a mistake coming into that tight pit lane and then just spun out. That'll be interesting to catch up on that driver after we get a look at this lap here from Jan.
Yeah, that is an odd one. I've not seen that before in my years of commentating on different leagues. Got to say that's one of my first times that's ever happened. But looking at Jan, he's half a second down at the moment. He hasn't got much ERS left, so dare I say, he probably won't improve now on this lap. But he's in the top 10, which is positive for him. And hopefully he can get some points, because Jan, he typically picks up a lot of penalties in this league as he hits the wall going through turn 14. Just a little kiss. But the time of the session has ticked over. Jan carrying on with this lap. I don't think he's going to improve. So race director, cut yourself back over to Shortbread, who's currently P5. Psycho also on a lap. Psycho's flying, actually. Director, go to second place.
Oh my.
Because the McLaren driver is 4/10 up. Can he do enough? Coming round this final corner, it's going to be exceptionally close.
Oh! Oh my God! 200ths of a second splitting the two drivers at P1 and 2. Wow. What a lap from Psycho.
Wow. That is minuscule. I mean, 2,000ths of a second, that's less time than it takes you to blink, ladies and gentlemen. That's unbelievably close. How have they been separated by such a small margin? Shortbread, though, can he make an impression on the championship fight? He's got to get this final corner correct, which he does. Is he going to improve on his lap? He does, but it's not enough to get him into third.
No, not enough. See, that is the 400ths there, but excuse me, that was a mistake. That is 2,000ths of a second. You are correct, Jack, in saying what a minuscule separation from the top two drivers. And again, more of the same, what we've come to expect from these absolutely amazing racers right here on the track. Just, it's really, really amazing to watch.
It really is, and it just shows you that the level of progression that we've seen from the drivers this season as the session now ticks over. But it is confirmed officially. Flat left taking pole position. Psycho in second by 2,000ths of a second. Standout, one of the standout performances, Fake Knudsen qualifying there in P3. Great effort from him. Shortbread in fourth. Peter in fifth. The Romanian driver of Stanciu Anatoli 99. Welcome to the league of Gavra at Stanciu. You are 6th place in the Ferrari. Jan 7th with Feni Sorose 8th. Spannel 9th. Milo Bello 10th. And then the other two drivers to set a lap were Waltz and Mikey RK13, who had a few difficulties and a few spins out on track. The other drivers, because of penalties, couldn't set a lap. So that's Betts, Diego, Jackie on Franson, and I believe Billy Misu. J&B Surreal, though, disqualified from the session. And according to the F1's official timings, the gap wasn't 2 thousandths of a second, it was 1 thousandth of a second.
I noticed that too. That's even more minuscule of a separation between the two.
That's incredible. So, 1 thousandth of a second, the difference. We go into the first race, 25 points on offer. Zexify obviously isn't here, but flat left, he is the man who's took on that mantle for Ferrari to get pole position for the Maranello team. And Orkan, do you think he will win the race, which if he does, gives him the championship?
It's going to be really close. I'm not quite sure. It's going to come down to the first turn, in my opinion. Yes, the strategy of the tires will come into play. We got to watch out for safety cars, but pending no ruckus, pending no wrenches thrown into everybody's gearbox here, it's going to come down to who gets the jump early, who can start setting the pace before the DRS zone is activated, trying to get out in front these two drivers. You know, once the race starts going, this type of track kind of does have the tendency to separate the pack. So it really comes down to the first lap. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
And the race is live here from Abu Dhabi. It looks like a relatively decent start for flat left, and he's going to get himself into P1. Yes, he's there first. Shortbread makes a big lunge on Fake Knudsen, but he can't quite make it stick. There is a yellow flag. Further back, I think Mikey's been tagged round and he's spun at turn 1. Fake Knudsen's all over the curb as they come through the drivers. Fetz and Spannel having a fight for P8. They're side by side, as are the two Haas drivers of Jan. And it's almost a little bit of contact. There's McLaren running out wide there. That was Psycho. Fake Knudsen right on the back of him now as well. But apart from Mikey, it's a good start. But Fake Knudsen, the man who got his first podium last week, is fighting for the inside line with Psycho, who's trying to stay on the outside. Ooh, Shortbread, where's he going to go? Great bit of manoeuvring from Shortbread. He gets himself to P3. Psycho's falling backwards. He's down to 5th place. Shortbread did exactly what he needed to do. He's got a place back, but he's losing ground to flat left, who's nearly a second clear, Orkan.
Yep, already, right from the get, flat left is asserting his dominance here. That's great from Shortbread jumping up, but Psycho dropped 3 places back. What ended up happening? Did he just position the car incorrectly on those turns? He didn't get bumped, I didn't see.
No, he got a little bit of a snap-on coming out of turn 5 out the hairpin. It put him wide. Fake Knudsen had a great run out of the corner, got him into P3, and then Psycho just went a bit too deep at the chicane. Shortbread, ever the racecraft driver, snatched the opportunity to go through, and now he's trying to close that gap on Shortbread. But fair play to Fake Knudsen, not letting flat left run away at the moment. We also had another yellow flag, Waltz von Keisel, who's down in 17th. He spun out, so flat left leads the way.
And within a second, Fake Knudsen, Shortbread is close behind. Now, Shortbread, not out of the realm of possibility for him to win the Drivers' Championship. What would need to be done? Winning this race and winning second, would that solidify Shortbread's Drivers' Championship? Or even if flat left came in P2 both races?
If Shortbread wins both races and flat left comes second, it's flat left's title. If it stays as it is, flat left seals the crown in this race. But Fake Knudsen is not letting him go out of DRS. There's a lot of fights going on all over the circuit. I've just been watching X, who's had a wonderful start as the other Aston Martin driver, up 7 places into P6 at the moment, and he looks like a man on a mission at the moment because he's trying to close that gap to Psycho, whilst everybody else is having a bit of a fight through the field.
And that's what it's looking like right now. I see the top 6 drivers all on the soft tires, and after that, it's mostly all mediums. I see the other Ferrari driver with the hard. Oh,
Fake Knudsen has gone off at turn 3 and 4.
No.
That is such a shame, and that's a full blown. Oh no, it's not a full blown. It's a virtual safety car. As a result, of Fake Nuts in hitting the wall at turn 3 and 4. Everybody out around on the track now. Sorry to interrupt you, Orchid. I just spotted the Alpine just fire off into the wall, sadly. That is gut-wrenching, actually, for Fake Nuts, and he was driving so well.
Ah, what a shame. I wonder what the strategies are going to be if everyone decides to pit now. I know you will be saving some time on the VSC, not 100%.
Green flag.
Okay, never mind. Green flag. DRS is enabled. Fake Nutson without a wing, though, apparently. He's going to need to dive into the pits. This could be a chance for him to throw on a new set of tires.
Ooh, just watching Fenny Sarose in 6th place get it all wrong underneath the hotel there, which isn't great for him. And Jackie on Franson picks up the first set of penalties for track limits, which is quite tough around here. So that's impressive. But looking at where everybody else is, as Fake Nutson comes into the pits, there's a bit of a dogfight going on between Billy Misu and Jan for 8th place. Billy Misu also up a number of places as well. He's up 7, Fetz is up 8, so really good progress from those two as Diego picks up a penalty as well.
Another one going. And as you said, that is pretty impressive.
Oh, what a lunge from Billy Misu going into turn 5. That was astounding. And he's got DRS. Jan was caught asleep with that. And Billy Misu says, thank you very much, the Haas driver. I will take that position, and he's running off of it. And he's on the medium tyres as well, so Billy Misu could be a factor later on in this race.
That is great to see from Billy Misu. Already up 8 places since the start of the race. What an amazing couple laps from Billy Misu, playing his cards right. And like you said, that was an absolutely amazing dive into that corner, able to take that spot from Jan, who is not too far behind. Looks like he's gaining a little bit.
Contact. Oh, there's 3 drivers round. That's JMB Surreal, Stanchu's round, Diego's round. There's a yellow flag. There's a couple of drivers going past there. Walt's got through. Mikey's joined in the fun as well. I only caught the end. Sorry to interrupt you, Orkin, but that was a very strange incident. There's a massive fight going on for 13th place, though, as a result.
I'm watching that right now. Looks like 4 drivers back, neck and neck to each other. Well, a little bit of contact, a little bit of elbows out. These are the last pair of races of the season, so everyone's getting a little antsy, wants to assert their dominance, jump up the Drivers' Championship board as much as they can, especially with one of the best drivers out of commission. It's Zexify again, not joining us for the race, and every driver just fighting for points, trying to show what they got, their last chance in this Gavra Racing League season. But already some excitement, Jack, and we're not even a third of the way done with the race.
No, we're not. And just to make another point, Milo Bello making it the second Alpine to have spun at turn 3 and 4, just like Fake Nutzer did earlier on. So Alpine, who were on for a double points finish, are now looking at not finishing in the points at all. Meanwhile, whilst all that's been going on, the 2 Haas drivers are happily minding their own business in 6th and 7th. That'd be a good set of results for them. Fetz has caught Psycho whilst this has been going on. Psycho, who qualified second, he was only 1,000 foot iron into the pits, comes Fetz. So the man who started down the field in 13th place, I believe, he couldn't qualify. He thinks now is the time to get the undercut, jump onto those medium tyres. I tell you what, Orkin, he could be on for a podium potentially here, is Fetz. He's driving exceptionally well.
I think you're right about that, Jack. I think that was also a smart move, ducking into the pits a little early. This track does have a tendency to eat those soft tires. He got right up to Psycho, didn't want to spend another lap with the DRS fight, decided to dive in. I got you right now, buddy. I'm putting on the mediums, and he's going to ride this one out to the end.
He is. Our Peter, by the way, has got past Shortbread, so Shortbread's championship chances have took a blow there. Our Peter, who's been driving quite well, he's got a win this season as the Alfa Romeo driver. He's got past Shortbread, and that's Well, it's going to be hard work for Shortbread now to catch flat left. It's going to be very, very difficult.
That is, it might come down to the strategy for the top 4 drivers. Both, or excuse me, all 4 still on the soft compound. Wonder who's going to duck in first, who's going to make those shorts last. Let's see here.
Fetz gets himself past Walt as well. That was an important move for Fetz after pitting early in. The 2 drivers of our Peter and Shortbread and Psycho all decide now is the time as Jan gets his customary penalty. There it is. He gets 3 seconds onto his time, but who will come out in this pit stop battle? We're all fighting for a good pit stop. Our Peter gets himself out in second. Well, I say second provisionally on the road. Where is Fetz in relation to these 3? This is important. Fetz is coming through turn 1 now. The other guys are coming out of the pit lane. This is going to be especially close. Fetz coming through the left-hander. He's going to be side by side with his teammate. This level. Shortbread's got to fight for the championship. Who's going to let each other go? Shortbread lets him go. He's going to keep the DRS, but that was a great decision from Fetz. He jumps up 2 places. He jumps Shortbread and Psycho.
Yeah, I think that was an excellent strategy, getting the undercut in early and makes it pay off right now with P8. Already has the more medium tires, although the tires do warm up relatively quickly here in Abu Dhabi. We got a pretty fast track, a lot of tight corners. But Fetz right now, excellent strategy. And a little too far behind our Arpita. He's right. He's closing in on Arpita, I see, on the medium tire.
He is closing in. Flat left is in the pits as well. I just noticed that Feni Sarose would just started to close a little bit of the gap on flat left in a couple of those corners. Oh, Arpita, what's happened? He's round. He's in the wall.
Oh, no.
Just as we were praising him, Arpita has found the wall at turn 12. Flat left now coming out of the pits. Where is Fetz? I don't think he's going to be close enough. I think flat left, he had that buffer. He's going to get himself out in 5th place in front of his teammates. And as it stands, Fetz is on for 2nd place provisionally, providing that the safety car doesn't come out roundabout now.
Okay. And
Tell you what,
Millobello there with another 3 second. Yep.
I hope the race director's watching the fight for second, because Billy Misu just gets himself past Jackie on Franson. Oh, I think there was a bit of an odd one that between Billy and Jackie. Jan in 2nd place at the moment. It's a Haas 1-2. We've never ever said that before.
Jeez.
That's an amazing statistic to have. Will Billy Misu, is he going to be close enough to try and lunge up the inside of Jan? Not quite, but he's very close.
Oh, he made him think about that one.
He's doing more than thinking about it. He's actually going to try and go round the outside.
Oh, he clipped him!
Oh, what a spin of... Oh, fantastic from Jan. I know there was contact, but that is great car control.
That is excellent. Able to keep that car on the track and get right back going. Jackie O right behind, ready to pounce. Now, I wonder what these penalties are going to be affecting the race. I know that some of these drivers did not stop yet in the top 4. That's why you say the provisional 1, 2, 3, 4. But, just got a little bit too aggressive, and I think Billy Misu had that line. Of course, the race directors are going to be looking at that after the race, but that was quite a battle right up until that spin there.
Yeah, it really was, but fair play to Jan for keeping that on the road, because I thought he was a goner. Really well done from him. But at the moment, Billy Misu on the medium tyres, he's got some pace. The only problem is that when he pits, he's going to come out quite some way down, it has to be said. If we look at where the drivers are, he's probably going to be outside of the points at the moment. As Shortbread, Fetz has gone backwards. I'm not sure what's going on there, but he's dropped 2 places as Fetz. So Shortbread now back up to provisionally 2nd place. There's a big fight going on for 9th, because the race director, hopefully he's catching this. Arpita looking at the inside of Mikey, but Arpita decided to go on the inside blue curb there where it's a bit bumpy. That's not going to work for him. Mikey trying to defend, but he's on the outside line, and Fake Knutson sweeps through as well. Mikey yet to pit. He's having a bit of a difficult time as the Red Bull driver. But our Peter and Fate Knutson, recovery drives are on now and trying to get themselves into the points.
Yeah, you're right. Having a little bit of a difficult time. Had to let those drivers go through. Not Mikey's best performance today that I'm seeing.
No, not yet. He got points last week at Miami in the final race on the intermediates. There's a yellow flag out there. I'm just looking to see who's caused it. Actually, Fate Knutson was way off the track.
Yeah, I think Fake Knutson went a little bit wide there.
Apologies about that, but yeah, Fate Knutson has just come out behind Jackie O'Franson, so the Red Bull driver snuck in front. Got no ERS though. You'd think through the season, Orkin, that drivers would learn how to use ERS and just keep hold of it for when they need it, and yet most of them still haven't got the memo.
No, unfortunately not. Leaving it all out on the first couple laps. Apparently, I see the ERS is activated. Well, there's none to activate, unfortunately, Jackie O. Thankfully, you got the DRS coming up to you if you're right behind Fake Knutson here. Well, all these drivers, unfortunately, I'm seeing not a lot of the ERS. You are right. And just to check at the top grouping here. Flat left. No surprise. The man without penalties is the one with the most ERS. The man who has been setting an example for all the other drivers with his experience, with his dominance on track, conserving the ERS as a true driver should.
He isn't, but he hasn't really had the need to use it, has he? He's driven excellently. He's got 5.5 seconds to Psycho in second, Shortbread in third. Fett's currently in fourth place. Still a great recovery drive, but Fett will be frustrated if he doesn't get on the podium, because he was briefly second. Spannel has moved himself up into P6 very quietly, as always. Gets on with his business, but he's got Billy Misu, who's just come out behind him on those fresh soft compound tyres. And do you reckon he'll get him on this straight, Orkin?
Oh, I think he has to here.
Ooh, a little bit of it.
The DRS. Oh, it's JMB Surreal 10-second time penalty for corner cutting. Oh, that must have been a wide corner, ladies and gentlemen. Shortbread pushing up as much as he can, not too far behind Psycho. Coming around the long wide.
Yeah, Billy Misu sweeping in front of Spannel there. Was always going to happen with the soft compound tyres against the mediums, fresh as well. Easy enough, and Billy Misu up to 6th. So, Fate Knutson picks up a time penalty. A few of the drivers are now. It's getting that way in the race where they're just struggling a little bit. Ooh, so 4 laps to go, including the one that we're on currently. And the closest fight on circuit at the moment is between, well, I would say it's between Jackie O'Franson and Walt, but admittedly, Jackie's now on fresh softs and Walt's on the hards. I can't imagine that Walt is going to be able to get past him, dare I say it. JMB Surreal, he's had a tough race. He's been lapped, actually, as JMB. He's had a really rough race, and hopefully he'll bounce back for race 2, Orkin.
Yeah, I think there's only one way to go, and it's up, because right now this has not been his best race, hasn't been the best qualifying session for JMB Surreal either. But yeah, hopefully he gets to the pit crew. Hopefully they work out a good strategy how to move forward into the next race. But right now it's looking, pending any hiccups, right now it looks like flat left is gonna take this one. Psycho, not I was gonna say not too far behind, 5.5 seconds, depending on how far you stretch that definition. Shortbread picking up another time penalty. Well, that could be the news Fetz was waiting for all race. Unfortunately, just took that last turn a little too wide. Stewards had to step in, said we gave you enough penalties, Shortbread, and Fetz is within that time penalty. So it looks like if things hold as is, Fetz will take that podium from his teammate.
Yeah, looks like that way is going to happen. They're quite close on track as well. The second to fourth battle there. They look pretty stationary at the moment, and Shortbread will be frustrated at that. The driver I'm watching at the moment is Billy Misu in 6th place. There's a driver round in the final cut. Looks like a Red Bull. I suspect it could be Mikey who's gone round there. But Billy Misu, 2-lap old soft tyres against Arpita on the medium compounds in the Alpha. Billy Misu looking for what would be a 5th place. He's got fastest lap of the race as well. Here he comes. The Mercedes driver looking to the outside, switches to the inside. Arpita, he's run a little bit wide. Billy Misu's got his nose there, but he's not quite close enough.
No, not quite close. Arpita holding on as much as he can. It is neck and neck here. Soft versus medium. Absolutely zooming past. Here comes Billy Misu trying to get that line. Oh! Has to concede that until the next lap. Try to get past Arpita. Wait until they get to the DRS zone. Tried to make one dive. Decided smartly at the last second to back out. Let Arpita have that position. Don't want to make any unnecessary mistakes. We have the tire, and we just have to have the patience to match. Arpita, though, it's got to be said, fending off Billy Misu on a fresher tire compound, it's definitely not the easiest thing to do, for sure, and especially when they know he has DRS too. It's absolutely amazing, the defensive work here of Arpita from what we're watching right now.
Yeah, it is absolutely Orkin. But the other thing, though, is once again, Arpita has just that little bit more ERS than the Mercedes driver, but here comes Billy Meese, who's going to try and do the same move again. He swings to the outside, but he's not close enough this time.
No.
He needs to save that ERS. He's only going to have one more lap, and Mellow Bellow, is it? Or Fake Nuts, and one of the two has gone spinning round at turn 3 and 4, so that's a nightmare for him. Look how close Billy Misu is to the back of Arpita. He's pushing him through these corners. I know there's a good fight as well between Stanchu and Anatoly and Feni Sarose, but I'm watching these two as we tick over to the final lap.
I can't take my eyes off this battle for 5th. I gotta say, this is an absolute dogfight right now. Arpita might be the new Minister of Defense here at Abu Dhabi if he's able to hold off Billy Misu on the soft compound. And you are right. It all comes down to that little bit of ERS that Arpita has smartly saved. A little bit more than Billy Misu activates that, trying to negate as much of that DRS as possible.
Both using ERS. Here we go. Oh,
just can't get it to stick, Billy Misu.
I think he's too far away now. I'm going to cut back, and hopefully the race director cuts back to the man in P1. Because flat left, he's drove incredibly well tonight as Mikey crashes out. Flat left all season long. He's been absolutely brilliant in that Ferrari. And he's going to be Gavra Racing weekend champion of season 10. Well done to flat left. It's well deserved. He's been scintillating into the first race tonight. What a performance.
That was an absolutely dominating performance. It's great to see. Flat left got through on the first turn, and like I predicted, it was off to the races after that. He left everyone else behind him. He just showed his race pace, qualifying pace as well, starting out at pole. Just absolute brilliance on track, and it's hats off to the man, the myth, the legend. Flat left in that Ferrari. Congratulations to the whole crew.
Yeah, they'll all be chuffed for him, celebrating. Ferrari get their champion, and they've also confirmed I think they've confirmed the Constructors' Championship with that victory as well for flat left and Ferrari. So the work that he and Zexify and Stanchu, admittedly, have done this season has certainly paid dividends. Haas get a double points finish for the first time this season. Jan gets points as well, which is great for him. He's performed well today in the first race of the night. Stanchu gets points on debut, so that's a good result for him. Spanel, again, doing what he does best in 7th, just quietly going about his business. Billy Misu couldn't get that 5th place in the end, but fair play to him. 6th place, up 10 positions. He's one to watch for race 2, given the chance he'll get the ability to qualify. Fett's up 9 as well. Fett's actually didn't get the podium in the end, so did he make a mistake?
Well, it looks like there is some controversy already coming from the drivers. Some investigation from the stewards will be needed. Arpita is the driver, not happy today, calling out a dirty move from some of the people on track already. The stewards have promised an off-track investigation. The onboards will be reviewed. Not to take away from Flat Left's absolute dominance and brilliance. But a little bit farther down the grid, there is some discussion, some discrepancies in some of the points. A little bit of the rules need to be fine-tailored here. Might need to give some penalties for the next race here at Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, they will need to sort that out. I'm sure that the stewards at Gavra Racing, they always get on top of it, so hopefully that'll be done soon. But well done to Flat Left, champion of Season 10. There's still one more race to go, of course, folks, so don't tune off just yet, because we have the one-shot qualifying coming up shortly. Psycho, another podium this season. Yet to win a race this season is Psycho. Despite his incredible speed, he's just not been able to get that first win. Shortbread, in the end, he's confirmed himself as P2 in the championship. He'll want more from next season. He'll want to try and finish off tonight with a bang. Fett's 4th, Arpita 5th, Billy Misu 6th, with Spano on 7th, Stan Chew in 8th, Jan in 9th, Fenny Sorose 10th, Waltz in 11th place, very close to his first points, Jackie on Franson 12th, Melo Bello 13th, Diego 14th, Fake Nuts in 15th, Mikey 16th despite his crash on the final lap, and JMB Surreal had that bad of a race, sadly, that he crossed the line and still finished behind Mikey, so hopefully the AlphaTauri driver has a better time of it in race 2, or can...
Oh, tough to get any worse than that one, unfortunately. Hopefully some strategy needs to be adjusted. I don't know if it's a problem with their car or a problem with the driver itself, but hopefully they get all those issues sorted heading into the official last race of the season, the second Abu Dhabi race. But again, congratulations to Flat Left. Just a great season all around. Now, that is interesting, though, that Psycho has been so dominant on the track. We've seen his performances in qualifying together and his true race pace, but still has not brought home a victory. That is interesting.
Yeah, I mean, we know how good he is. We know how well he races. His racecraft is pretty decent as well. So it's a little bit of a surprise that he hasn't pulled it off. In fact, the only McLaren driver who has won a race this season is Ben Roberts, who sadly isn't here with us for tonight's races. Flat Left has taken 2 wins this season. The one who's won the most races is Exify. He's won 3 out of a possible 9, but yet here we are talking about his teammate winning the championship and not him.
Right. Oh, well, the highs and lows of this league has been absolutely amazing. Some great entertainment. It's been an honor commenting on this here in the booth with you, Jack. It's absolutely amazing to see these drivers just competing to the absolute limit, showing what they can do on track. It's just mesmerizing to watch what these people can do.
Yeah, sometimes you see some of the racecraft that has been on display tonight and all through the season, really. There's been some wonderful overtakes, there's been some great battles, some controversy. What would Formula One be without controversy, of course, especially here with Gavra Racing, who've put on a really good season so far, it has to be said, and I've been really impressed with how, you know, Gavra and his team have put together a very good community, and have also been able to it's been fun to watch, it's been fun to commentate over. And I've also got to make a brief mention that we have a sort of Gavra legend who has just joined into the lobby, I've noticed. Natty G. He's a commentator with Gavra, who also does other commentary there. And is he going to race Orkin? Because if he does, that would be a bit of fan service, really, to be honest. It'd be good to see him.
Oh, that would be absolutely fantastic. Tell him to come up in the booth after the race. Would love to talk to another absolutely amazing GOAT. That is great to see. And you are right, some good fan service for the crowd here. A little Easter egg, a little Gavra Easter egg for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. So, those that don't know, one more race left. Race 2 of the night, round 10, or rather round 5, race 10 of the season. 15 points on offer for the winner, 12 for second, 10 for third place, 8 for fourth, 5th for sixth, and then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 for the corresponding places. 1 point for fastest lap as well. But to be honest with you, nobody's really going to care about that, considering the season is almost over. They're just going to go for the best result possible. And Orkin, if you were to make a prediction, we know that Psycho is very quick. We know that Flat Left is very quick, and Champion, of course. And we know that the two Aston Martins of Fett and, of course, Shortbread have been excellent all season. But do you have a prediction of the top 3 maybe for the second race? Who do you think will finish in the top 3?
If I had to make a prediction so bold, without jinxing anybody, I would have to say, now, I may be a little biased, Flat Left will be winning this race again. But
Okay.
Psycho will be getting a respectable P2. And I think Fake Nutson is going to solidify that P3. No offense to Shortbread, but Fake Nutson really showed his race pace coming up from a pretty low spot on the grid. I think he started P12, if I'm not mistaken. Was able to jump up pretty significantly there. So I do think that he will be, showing his true race pace here, and I think he's going to take that podium position.
Yeah, Fake Nutson, like you say, Orkin, he fell to P12 when he spun off. He was running second. He wasn't far behind Flat Left until he made that mistake, unfortunately, that put him in the wall. I think Fake Nutson's a good shout for a podium. I'd like to see Walt get his first points. That would be quite nice. I think he's the only driver in the grid, obviously apart from Natty G, who is yet to score points this season, I'm right in saying. And he finished 11th in that race, so maybe a little bit more chaos in his final race will give him a chance to do that.
I'm also predicting another bold prediction here. I'm also predicting a Mikey points finish in that Red Bull. Pending the car does get fixed in time for the race. I think Mikey can do it, knows what he did wrong last race. Needs to keep the car on the track. That's first and foremost. Needs to have a front wing. And another bold prediction of mine, I'm also predicting the first 3-second penalty going to Yan.
Is that a bold prediction for Jan to get the... in a nice point? We do love Jan here, it's got to be said. But he does have a tendency to get them quite often. But here we go then, Orkin, into qualifying. Take it away, friend.
Okay. Oh, it's Shortbread starting now. Oh, it's very close here. Psycho, Natty, Diego, Billy Misu coming down to the first wide turn here. Oh, it's Billy Misu off, and that's going to be a DQ, unfortunately. Oh, what a shame. Just tried to take that long wide turn a little too fast. JMB Surreal parked in a dangerous location. He is also disqualified. Looks like it's Psycho, Fetz, followed by Flat Left, and the other Ferrari driver, the stand-in replacing Zexify, is Stanchu. Nope, Stanchu dropping down. And it's looking like the order that we've all come to know. It is Psycho, Fake Nuts, and Flat Left, Fetz, and Spannel following up right now. Provisional P5 coming to the end of S2. Fake Nutson right now in the lead. Flat Left takes it right back. It is neck and neck between these drivers. And right now, Flat Left is taken. All right, coming into the final here. The last couple turns. Oh, it's gonna be another spin out for that Alpine. Unfortunately, just took that turn a little too wide. And Psycho gets pole position. Pretty dominant pole position, I would say. Just under 4/10 there, followed by Fetz and Shortbread right behind.
Yeah, I mean, I was on board with Fake Nuts and he was on track for potentially pole then, and he just lost it at turn 14. For those that don't know where turn 14 is, remember Latifi in 2021 is what I describe it as. But Psycho getting pole position. I don't know what happened to flat left. He was right there at the front, and now he's 4 seconds behind in 10th.
Yeah, not quite sure what happened with flat left there. Oh, he must have. That's going to be an interesting position for him to fight through the pack this time. A good test for the drivers' champion this year, seeing how much of the race pace will show once starting at the back of the grid. Hopefully, it is not a driver that only knows how to drive when starting first. So we will see what the race will bring. Right now, the Psycho has his best opportunity to win a race that I have seen in quite a long time.
Yeah, I mean, Fetz was very quick in race 1. He came all the way from pretty much the back of the grid to finish 4th, and certainly had the pace through the race to fight with Psycho. But he'll be desperate to get that first win, as will Fetz, because he's not won a race either this season. So they'll both be aiming to go out on a bang. Ooh. 17 seconds before the lobby starts, and the drivers will be preparing themselves now for the last time. Race 10 of the Gavra Season 10 Weekend League. Who is going to be on the top step for the final time, probably of 2022 as well, for that matter. So then, the lights go on for the final time here at Abu Dhabi. Who's going to get the best start? And the race is live here from Abu Dhabi. It looks like a relatively split start between the two front runners, but Psycho's going to be there in P1. Shortbread trying to go around the outside. There's a Haas round. It looks like Jan or Feni Sarose, one of the two has gone round. Jackie on Franson's got himself a penalty for a collision. Mikey is out. I don't know what's quite happened there. I think he's got caught up in an accident. So, bit of chaos to start everything off with. Diego in 5th place. Ex-Natty G started 18th fork, and he's 9th after 5 corners.
Oh my.
Wow.
Yeah, I just caught that collision there from the Haas. Jackie O picking up that penalty. Stewards were very quick with that one. No, that is collision on you. Now, still jumped up 8 positions, that Jackie O, even though he was awarded that penalty, and the stewards will be investigating if anything more. Oh, a double spin out! Diego, unfortunately, there. No penalties awarded just yet, but the two drivers, there was collision, and no safety car, no VSC yet, not even a yellow flag to be seen. That is farther back in the order. Psycho right now has just over a second lead in front of Shortbread, followed closely by teammate Fetz.
Yeah, at the moment there's another yellow flag out there as well. Not sure who that's for. I think a couple of drivers going into the pits as well. And I've got to say, Psycho starting on the medium tyres, as is Shortbread. So those two looking at the long haul for this. X90G up to 6th place in that McLaren. He's had an unbelievable as our Peter slides one round the outside of Stanchu, and he gets himself into 7th position. This has been a really frenetic opening couple of laps. Rather, I say opening couple of laps, opening a couple of corners, because we're only on lap 2 at the moment. But Stanchu goes a little bit too deep, trying to follow our Peter through. This has been brilliant.
Already, this has been brilliant.
Flat left's been in the pits as well. Down in 15th.
Fetz is going to need to get in front of his teammate Shortbread pretty quickly. I would not want to stretch that out too long. He's on the softer compound, Shortbread on the medium. Needs to close that gap as much as he can, just over 5 seconds right now, or excuse me, 5/10.
Yeah, maybe there's going to be a bit of team orders here. I mean, if I were Aston Martin, you would do if you were the manager. But that's entirely on them. Spaniel running in 4th place at the moment, which is really impressive to see from the Williams driver. Jackie in 5th, as he's made up a whole load of positions thus far. It's been actually a really good start for him, but X90 G is flying in that McLaren. He's up 12 places, and he's within DRS of Jackie on Franson. Can he make that 13 places gained in 3 laps?
Let's take a peek, followed closely by Arpita. Of course, the DRS has been activated.
Easy.
And looks like he gets that to stick. Oh!
Oh! Wow. Wow. Jackie on Franson, take a bow, son, because that was a brilliant lunge, and it caught X90G out. He wanted to try and catch him back and get a better run, but X90G was a little bit too early on the accelerator, and Arpita takes 6th place as a result. Well, he does go a bit too wide. X90G, Arpita. Ooh, they just make it through.
They just make it through cleanly. Goes a little bit wide there, I see. And Fenny Rose picking up a little time penalty there. He is farther back on the grid, not necessarily competing in the top right now. But it is a very interesting battle for 5th place right now, as Jackie O does have that time penalty, but Arpita and X90 G following very close behind.
Yeah, they are indeed. But the difference between those two is that they've got ERS, and guess who doesn't? It's Jackie on Franson. So he needs to make sure that he tries to save some of his ERS. But to be honest with you, it doesn't look like he's going to. Here comes Arpita then. ERS active. This should be easy enough. Flies on by, but we know what Jackie's like. He'll try and lunge one back up the inside, will he? No. Oh, he goes on the curb. That's going to spit him out wide. Here comes X90 G, trying to go around the outside, no room given. And Jackie on Franson just about holds on. X90 G has the DRS stanchion right there as well, don't forget him. Here comes X90 G, will he try and make a lunge into turn 5? Not quite. He's going to try and work his magic. Will he try and look for the inside line now? Yes, he does. Side by side then as they come towards turn numbers 10, 11 and 12. They're so close to one another. Oh no! Was that a little bit of contact from Stanchi behind then, Orca? I didn't see it.
No, that did look like a little bit of contact. Looked like tire to tire, nothing too egregious, but X90 G just lost the rear, was able to quickly get back on the throttle, get those tires pointing forward. But Jackie on Franson right now is still taking taking some beatings from behind, but he is right now stretching those elbows out. Though he does have the penalty, he's holding on to that 6th position, but X90G is very close behind. When he is... see one yellow flag. Yeah.
Yep. Diego round. Here's X90G then. This time he's closer. He moves to the outside line. Now he uses his ERS. Jackie's got nothing to give at this point. I think he might have to give that one up now, and he does. So X90G up to 6th.
Okay. And that has jumped. X90G jumped 12 positions since the start of the race. That is absolutely great to see.
Meanwhile, whilst we've been having a load of excitement talking in the midfield, Psycho has just been closed down by the two. They almost look like predators, the Aston Martins. They're hunting him down at the moment. And the McLaren driver is a little bit isolated because both of the drivers behind on different strategies to him. As I say that, Fett bolts into the pit lane. So where is he going to feed out in relation to his pit? Oh, Fett's has got a 5-second time penalty. And there's 3-second time penalty, Orkin.
There we go. Was not the first to receive that penalty, but of course you can set your clock to it at some point. That is Jan. Well, and of course we all love Jan here in the booth. We're just ribbing him, but it is pretty consistent and a little funny to see.
Absolutely. No harm, no foul.
Now the top two still on the mediums. When would be a good time to be pitting here? You think you want to stretch out the mediums as long as you can, or you're looking less at the traction, more of the track position on where you're going to spit out when you exit the pit lane here?
It's a hard one to say because Fetz is going to have clear air now. And he will make some gains as Milo Bello picks up a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. But Fetz is on those mediums now. He can run to the end. He'll probably get 9 laps out of them. Psycho Shortbread, they're probably going to aim for maybe lap 9, lap 10, I reckon. So it's all going to be on how Fetz gets on in the next 4 laps. If he can make gains and he doesn't get held up by Billy Misu or doesn't catch Jan, who's running in 7th place, then I think this is going to be a fascinating fight for the lead as Spanel pits.
Well, I think you're right about that. Shortbread just dropping out of the DRS range of Psycho. Well, gets right back in and falls right back out. Very close, just about a second separating the top 2 drivers right now, both on the medium compound. Oh, and Billy Misu, too, picking up another 5-second penalty. Speeding in the pit lane, that is a very, very popular penalty, and the stewards are not afraid to be giving that out right now for this race, unfortunately.
It's almost as if they like being caught by speed cameras, this lot, but tonight, for some reason, we've never seen so many. But at the present moment, Psycho, now that he's got one Aston Martin out of the way, he's just had the time to knuckle down. He's pulled out half a second on this last lap to Shortbread. Can Psycho pull it off? Can he take his first win? He's got a lot of room to breathe at the moment. I know 1.3 doesn't seem like much, but for a driver, knowing that they're pulling away from the cars behind is a huge sigh of relief. And psychologically, Shortbread's really going to have to push now.
Oh, I'm just seeing Jackie O'Franson right now dropping some positions. Currently has... Oh, and he gets... I see Jan gets a 3-second penalty, but Jackie O'Franson is now in 10th. Unfortunately, he will be... well, no ERS to give. He is just continuing to drop in that order, unfortunately. Had his elbows out in that battle with Natty G earlier, but since then has not been going his way.
Oh, I'll tell you what, there's been an unbelievable fight for 6th place between Flat Left and Natty G as you were talking, Orkin. Natty G, I thought he'd done an impossible move underneath the hotel, but Flat Left, deciding he's having none of it, kept him behind. Flat Left on those hard tyres. He will run to the end of the race, by the way, everyone. So whoever's in front of him that still has to pit, if they come out behind him, they're going to have to fight to get past, and that will definitely be Jan at the very least. You know, Fetz doesn't need to pit again, and Fetz is just within the range where Psycho doesn't want him to be in terms of getting out in front. I'm watching, hopefully the race director is watching Flat Left in P6 because Natty G probably going to go past here. Flat Left, just using it, DRS as Natty G. Up into 6th place goes the McLaren driver.
That's Fake Nutson with another 3-second here. And yellow flag in S3. Doesn't look like anything too serious right now.
Psycho pits. That releases Shortbread into lead. Now that might be a lap too early from Psycho. Will the softs be able to last that long? Bolts them on nicely. Fetz is stuck behind Jan. This isn't ideal. He's got to try and get past Jan ASAP because he's going to hold him up. Psycho coming towards that pit lane. Oh, this is going to be incredibly close. Here comes Fetz. Here comes Psycho. Who's going to be first out? This is going to be so tight. Oh my goodness. Look how close it is. Psycho. Oh, it's almost free wide. Little bit of contact. Oh my goodness me. Jan, Fetz, all fighting for this. But Psycho's got the traction that he needs. He's going to have DRS as well. It's going to be free wide as they come down the straight. Psycho in the middle in the McLaren. Fetz alongside him. Psycho wants this. He's blasted on through and he takes second place. Wow.
Grabs that right back. Had enough ERS to spare. Also had the DRS on that long straight. A little bit of contact, but was able to reclaim that second spot. Now, is this going to be enough of a holdup for when Shortbread actually pits? It might just be what Shortbread needed, I'll tell you, because he does need to come in soon on that medium tire. Yep. And Psycho pretty much forced his hand there. Needs to come out right on that next lap, get those soft tires on. Don't want the undercut strategy to go too long here. Psycho forcing the hand. And a clean pit stop here, getting those soft compounds on. Let's see where Shortbread ends up. Psycho closing behind. This is gonna be interesting here. Fetz, I see, takes second. Where will Shortbread end up? Oh, right in front of Jan. There you go. Okay.
That gap was a lot bigger than we expected. Shortbread, 2.5 seconds behind Fetz at the moment. So Psycho now, he has the tyre advantage over Fetz. He's got 1 second to the driver behind. The difference is that Fetz is still within DRS, so we can't rule him out. Fetz has got a time penalty though, so that 5 seconds is going to really compromise him. So Psycho now, all he needs to do is just manage the gap to Fetz, manage his tyres. He doesn't need to push too hard. Shortbread's a couple of seconds away as well, so he can allow Shortbread to try and catch him a little bit, but by the time he does, his tyres are worn out. Jan running in 4th place, but still needs to pit, which means that Spangle, as it stands, is on for his best finish of the season with 4th once Jan pits. This is a great drive.
Oh, and good for Spangle. You know, I know I've given the commentators cursed on Spangle before, so I'm not going to say too much more on Spangle this race. Jan, yeah, exactly.
As Jan pits. So the drivers push themselves on to lap 11. 4 laps to go, not including the one we're on, of course, after this one. And Spangle moves up to P4, but Natty G is closing the gap in that McLaren, the standing driver for tonight, and the Gavra Racing fan favourite. He's flying at the moment. Flat left still inside the top 10. Looks like he might just about secure points in 7th place, because Jackie on France and Billy Misu and Jan, who's now on a soft, probably too far behind with 4 laps to go. At the moment, closest fight on circuit involves Walt, Mikey and R. Peter for 13th position, and it's pretty close between these three.
Yeah, it looks like a dogfight for that last position here. Oh, Arpita just ran a little too wide. Gets that DRS though, taking the left line and going down the long straight. Those drivers again, not much ERS to. Oh, there goes a wing.
That's a safety car. Oh, you would not like to be Psycho, who's gone past the pits. Who could be the first car to dive into the pit lane? No one's doing it yet. Flat left bolts in. He's going to be the first driver on the soft tyres. You would. Oh my goodness. We were just watching that, and it just seemed that Walt and Peter just came across one another where the track merges, Orkin, and into the wall he went.
I know. Oh, geez, what a turn of events. Unfortunately, they were battling for that 13th spot. Things got a little too rambunctious on the track. The safety car had to come out. Now, this is going to be very interesting. You are right about that, Jack. Some drivers passing the safety car already. At Psycho, what do you do? Do you keep the same tires you have on? Hopefully the safety car just goes around 2 laps. Maybe we'll get 1 lap of racing left. But those soft compounds, although he pitted early for them, should, especially with the safety car, maintain for the rest of the race.
Yeah, I'd stay out. I think the only driver you would want to pit now is Fett because he's got a safety car. He's about 9-10 seconds ahead of Spanel. It depends what the other drivers do, really. I think if Fett's had a bit of a bigger gap, I'd just say go and pit, son. Get in the soft tyres on. I'm going to watch him as he comes through turn 14 now. What does he decide to do? Oh, Psycho was dummy into going to pits. Fett stays out. Doesn't want to serve his 5 second. Well, he can't serve his 5 second time penalty, unfortunately. Which actually puts a bit of a spanner in the works for him because he now will have to take that penalty to the end of the race. And if there's only one lap of racing left, Orkin, Fett's just going to drop like a stone.
Oh, what a shame, that late safety car. Getting glimpses of Latifi for sure, and that is good luck for Fetz.
No, it isn't. The man who's going to be the happiest is flat left. He was on the hard tyres. He was on for points in 8th. In 7th place, rather. And he decided he was the first car to see enough of a gap to dive into the pit lane. And he's on those soft compound tyres now. He's got Jan behind him as well. Jan will be cursing the fact that the safety car came out then because he just pitted for a new set of soft tyres. And then the next lap, his safety car comes out and, sorry, son. You're not getting it.
So sorry.
Yeah.
So sorry, John.
So, unfortunately for him, the rest of the pack, though, trying to catch up to the safety car now, which they, excuse me, they should be able to do. Has Fetz and Shortbread just swapped places? Safety car's in this lap. Fetz and Shortbread have just swapped places, Orkin. Under the safety car, that shouldn't happen. The stewards will be looking into that one because the drivers shouldn't be allowed to swap places under the safety car because that means it's a 2-car shootout for the race win on the soft tyres. Everybody else after Jackie on Franson, they're not catching the trainer cars, I don't think. I think they're too far behind. I could be wrong. I'm just watching flat left. Oh, flat left might just make it onto the tail of the queue along with the 2 Haas drivers. Yeah, they will, just about. Here we go then. When will Psycho go? He's the safety car leader and away he goes off the final corner. He's caught Shortbread out. A perfect start.
Now that was a great start.
Look at Spanel looking for P3.
Okay, Spanel. And I think he might get it because Fetz does have those penalties. If everything goes according to plan right now, we got 2 laps of racing left, and that was interesting, that driver swap with the Aston Martins. Fetz letting Shortbread go through. Not quite sure what that was. We will be having to look at that if the stewards on the track said no, past that driver, maybe somebody went off, or if that was some team orders that need further investigation. We'll be bringing that back to you after the race.
Natty G! Oh, what an overtake from Natty G!
That was incredible to see.
Past 2 cars. Shortbread's right on the back of Psycho. These 2 fighting for the last win of the season. Shortbread looking for his second. Psycho looking for his first. Natty G, what a move. Fetz is falling all the way down. I'm not sure what's happened. I think he's gone off somewhere. Fake Nutson's out as well. That's a shame for them. Stanchi's up to 4. Spanel's down to 5th after looking like he was going to get a podium. But this is coming up to the final lap. There's a young... No, that was... I thought the same thing, Orkin. I thought it was another safety car, but I thought surely not this late. So, 1 lap to go. Shortbread. Psycho, this is the moment for the 2 of you. You have to get this right. You've got to line up every single corner. And I don't think Shortbread's close enough at the moment, Orkin.
No, that's asking a little too much from a driver that we know does have that pace, but might be too little too late for Shortbread, pending any mistakes from Psycho here. He does have that extra lap on that soft compound tire. I don't know how much of the traction's going to be left on that in comparison to Shortbread. The safety car did definitely help the 2 drivers, taking the softs late, both starting on the medium. But right now, Shortbread is closing a little bit of the gap. No DRS will be activated.
Excuse me. No, you're right. No DRS. Shortbread's got no ERS left. He can't get close enough. Is Psycho on his way to a first victory? Flat left in the meantime has got past Spannel. Can he get past Statue, his teammate for tonight, on the final lap? But I'm watching the fight for Psycho. Can he take that first win? It's been desperately unlucky for him all season long. He's had the pace. 2 corners to go for the McLaren driver. He's nailed that one. He's just got to get through this penultimate corner. He's done that nicely. No more mistakes now for the McLaren driver. That's exactly what he needs. And it's Psycho who wins his first win of the season for McLaren. Shortbread is second. Natty G. What a drive. Third place. Stanchu holds on from flat left in fourth and fifth, respectively. Spannel sixth. Jackie on Francis seventh. Jan and Fenny Sarose. The Haas boys have done themselves proud. Nathan ninth. Billy Misu gets the final points. Diego is 11th. Peter still just racing around the track at the moment. He's got Mikey following him there, fighting over 12th and 13th respectively. Walt is going to be 14th. And Milo Bello will be the last driver to finish and cross the line because Jem B. Surreal has had a bit of a torrid time tonight. He's already been lapped. But Psycho is your race winner. Orkan, wow.
What a way to close out the season. Psycho getting his first victory. That's absolutely great to see. Shortbread just over 2/10 behind. What a great last couple laps after the safety car. Natty G's performance cannot be overshadowed, jumping 15 spots in this race. And I see both of the Ferrari drivers following very close together. Flat left, jumping 5 spots. The drivers' champion started 10th, finished 5th. And, of course, driver of the day goes to Natty G. Tough to give it to anyone else when this man jumped 15 spots in the race.
Yeah, like you say, Orkan, it's really difficult to give it to anybody else. He's been incredible. But Psycho, he gets his win this season. It's well-deserved. He's had so many attempts to get that win, and he's finally got it. Well done to him. Fastest lap of the race actually went to R. Peter, but he doesn't unfortunately gain any points for that because he finished outside the top 10. So that's sadly for him not going to give him the the fastest lap point. But Ferrari take the championship in the constructors. Flat left, of course, sealing the deal in round 1 for the drivers standing. Shortbread ending the night with 2 podium finishes, which you'll be a bit frustrated by. You'll have wished he got the championship, but that just shows you the calibre of driver that flat left is. Shortbread running close, but couldn't quite get there in the end. For you, Orkan, this season, it's been wonderful, but what would you say has been your favourite set of races of the ones that you've commentated with me this season on?
You know, I think I would have to go with the Jeddah circuit. There was so much going on there. There was a lot of overtaking, a lot of on-track ruckus. Some definite strategies were completely thrown right out the door just on the first lap as well in both of those races. So I would have to give it to Jeddah. Not calling any other race out, but that would definitely have to be my couple races. And what I would give as the overtake of the season, going to Billy Misu at the first couple turns, the double overtake at the Jeddah circuit.
Yeah, that was brilliant. Billy Misu winning overtake of the season then from gifted by him from Orkan, and I'd have to agree as well. That overtake was incredible. Feel free to, of course, for those that haven't seen it, go back and check out on Gavra Racing's Twitch and YouTube channel for further action there. If you want to get involved potentially with Gavra Racing, please go on the website. Just go to Gavra Racing, search it on any search engine that you would prefer, Google, Bing, whatever it is you like. It'll come up on there, and you can sign up for season 11, which will start in 2023, which is, to be honest with you, not that far away at all. But it has been an incredible season of racing here with Gavra, and we will be back soon. Me and Orkan are looking forward to commentating on next season as well. I'm sure Orkan will agree with me on that. But that is it for all of the action this season. It has been fantastic, and do, like I say always, check in on all of those different areas of Discord, on all of the social medias. You can follow Gavra Racing on. Don't forget, you can watch all of the action back from this season on YouTube and Twitch, as I mentioned before. But I've been Jack, and obviously Orkin's also been himself in the commentary booth with me. And that is it for this season. So wherever you might be in the big wide world, have a good one, and we'll see you in 2023.
Take care, everybody.